back to that dad guy. It is July 19th, 2024, and it is mail week. It is also about 31 degrees outside. It's very hot. At least feels even hotter than that with the humidity, I guess. But it's nice. It's a heat wave. We've been in it for a while. Every once in a while we get a little bit of rain to cool things off just a touch, and then back to hot again. So it looks like it might be a nice hot weekend too. Well, if you're tuning in for the first time, make sure you like, you subscribe, you leave positive comments, you share with other people, you put the notification bell on so you don't miss out on anything. Today we are talking about post-crossing and direct swaps and surprises that showed up in the mail. And as always, I'm going to start with my post-crossing ones, the official cards, and we'll go from there. All right, so the very first one is this hedgehog-looking like creature. It's not a hedgehog though. This is from Australia. It comes from Sean. He says, I really like your profile, so much info. I love that you work in the post office and promote this hobby on YouTube. I'll give you a follow. I know the Achina, I think that's the name of it, A-C-H-I-D-N-A. We've talked about this before because Steven's talked about it and sent things in on it. It isn't related to a hedgehog at all, but lots of people assume that they are. I like to think it's sort of an Australian equivalent. Either way, I hope you enjoy seeing it. I do. There isn't a stamp. There's a postage meter mark for it here. So that's from Sean. Now, Sean did do one other thing. He sent another card that did have stamps on it. I'm going to show you the stamps first. And then I'm going to show you in this perspective. And it says, he says this is one of his favorite stamps, first of all. And then he said, this card is a magic mosaic that he's created. He's designed it himself. He says, if you look closely, you're going to see tiny pictures from his trip to the Philippines. I don't think it comes across really well on the camera, but he says, now, if you hold it up in portrait mode like this, I'm going to go way back here. Can you see that it's a waterfall and the two of them swimming in it here as well? So that is really cool. I mean, I can see it from here, so I'm sure you guys can as well. If we zoom in, there are tons of pictures from his trip to Philippines. What a cool idea. And I'm sure it took a very long time. So thank you so much, Sean, for sending that. I appreciate the extra effort because all he did was draw my name from Postcrossing. So all he had to do was send one card, but he sent two. So thanks a lot. The next card is this one from Finland. This comes from, it looks like Anne at the bottom. It says, when I see these things, I know that it's time to go to the sauna. So if we've talked about it once, we've probably talked about it 1,000 times that Finland is one of the countries that is super into going to the saunas, which I think is fascinating. It always fascinates me to hear about it because it's not something we really do here in Canada. Even though we have a cold climate as well in the wintertime, you would think it'd be popular. But anyways, it's popular there and she enjoys doing it. She likes to go swimming and go to the sauna. That's where she has two things close together. And it is Anne, but it's spelled A-U-N-E. So there you go. And there is the stamp. So thank you, Anne. A next card comes from Germany. And I really like this one. It's really cute. The fox, happy post-crossing, running around the world with the mail. This comes from Veronica in Germany. And she says, this town is known for its Schwebenbahn, a hanging train for public traffic. So is it like a gondola of sorts, maybe? Or a funicular? But she says it's not only for the tourists. And then she says she's 67 and retired and enjoys to have the times with her hobby and traveling about. So there we go. The next card doesn't come from far away. It's a group of 7 postcards. So this is a group of 7, one of the Canadian artists that came out. And this card comes all the way from Halifax, Nova Scotia. So it's wonderful to get a card from right here in the Maritimes. And Kenny is who sent it to me. She also says, I'm Kit You. So 2 different ways of saying her name. And then she says she enjoys the group of 7. She got to see an exhibition of them when she went to Toronto. There's a stamp. That was pen canceled, unfortunately. The next thing I have comes from Germany, but it comes in an envelope. So there are the stamps first. All really beautiful stamp right there. We've had this one once before. I've seen the person that sent it, this cathedral was actually in their town. Didn't like the way that it was presented that way because thought that it was more beautiful in its natural form. Inside, they sent me a ticket for something or other. And a 1,000 Shen postcard, which is very beautiful. It says he's 50 years old, and this comes from Manuela. She's 50 years old and has worked as a nurse for over 30 years, lives with her family, and she's in the 4th largest town in the northernmost part of the federal state of Germany. And then a few weeks ago, her husband and she visited Bremen for a short holiday trip, and she found some 1,000 Shen postcards. So she sent that. She also sent this postcard, a nice vintage postcard. And there's the stamp on the back that's already been written on and everything, so it's not to be resent again, I guess. And she sent this first day cover from Denmark, and this first day cover from Norway. And so that was kind of nice to get a couple extra oddities in the envelope. I really appreciate the extra effort that she went to. Now, that's it for official Postcrossing. Let's get into my surprise mail, my direct swaps that show up. And the first one is one of my surprise ones. So it's this postcard, and it says, "Greeting from Oswestry, a small market town in Shropshire. This card shows a town of Wales in which is one of my favorite places to visit. It has lots of history and great places to visit. You can even stop over in a lighthouse and sleep in the bulb room." Hopefully not while the bulb is going, hopefully a storage room, because you'd never get any sleep with that light going around, if that's what she's talking about. They do fantastic fish and chips here. A British favorite, of course it is. And there's the King Charles III stamp. And it's signed Love NJ. I don't know who NJ is, so if you are NJ, let me know, because this is a surprise card that's come in. And I don't know who to thank for it, so I would like to. You know why I don't know who it is? I've just noticed right at the very top, there is, I'm not going to cover it over a bit, there is a registered number that I've got to do. So I didn't register that card. I thought it was a viewer that sent it in. So I've got to go do that after I'm done here. I'll register that one. All right, let's get in now to, I know that these are direct swap ones. This one is a beautiful church. And it's from Prince Edward Island. This is from Kyler. If you've been watching my last couple of videos, I did get a chance to go work in Prince Edward Island. And when I wasn't working, I was touring around with friends. And Kyler was one of the ones that took me on a great trip. And he took me to a beautiful church, which was just one of many. And this was the inspirational church for the one that we toured around. And so didn't get a chance to see it this time, so he sent me a postcard of it. So that's how quickly the mail has been working. I just left there yesterday. I already got a postcard from him. So thank you, Kyler. The next one arrived in this envelope, and I wasn't quite sure who it was from at first, of course, until I opened it up. But it's from Ida Marie, and it got nibbled up in the mail. So someone at the post office threw it in one of these envelopes. And inside, she says that she wanted to send me some postcards from the Smithsonian Museum. So we have these ones that I can send out. We also, this one's funny. Saturn, come for the rings, stay for the chill out. There you go. Got NASA on the back. And this one, Venus, heat that can't be beat. And then NASA and the facts behind it. And also she sent me some stickers, which I love. So improving forecasts. That sticker, Explorer of the World, so it's a nice big sticker. James Webb Space Telescope. So there are some fun stickers. And that was all that was in the envelope when I received it. Oh no, never mind. There is a few other things that were hidden inside. We have this sticker, it's textured. It's kind of nice. Also this one is beautiful, it's also textured, a little thicker. And Argos 4, looks like a children's thing to encourage people into the space program or interested in space. So that's what's arrived in the mail. If anything else has fallen out of the edges, sorry that didn't arrive, but thank you so much, Ida Marie, for that. The next thing, it comes from Joe, and he's in North Carolina. We're not going to get into everything that's in there yet because it's filled with stamps. I haven't opened it up, the stamps, but I did open up the letter to say that he had found me on YouTube. He's a new stamp collector, and he wanted to trade some stamps with me. Specifically the airmail stamps that I showed. It was one of the purchases I got at one of the auctions. So he reached out to see if I would mind sending him some of my duplicate airmail, US airmail stamps. So I will do that. I'll put them all together. I've already started actually for you, Joe. So I'll get that out in the mail on Monday for you. All right, the next one is someone else who's reached out to me. She inherited her stamp collection from her father, like I did as well, but wanted to trade postcards. So I have already sent one off to her, and I received one back. River Raisin National Battlefield Park. This one here comes from, where is it here? In Michigan. So it says, she's very new. It's a, sorry, the cancellation is right over top of it, but it says it's a fairly new local national battlefield. Big deal when it was built here, and she lives on the edge of Lake Erie between Detroit and Toledo in a fairly rural area. Lots of nature and farming. I'm married with 2 sons, 8 grandchildren, and a growing number of great-grandchildren. I enjoy Jesus, family, art, and photography. I'll probably start making some cards for Zazzle. So there you go. It's a nice card. There are the stamps. We got a little bit of an older one, got nibbled up in the post. A nice dog cancellation. You can see how the cancellation has gone over the words here. So thank you so much, Saud, for that. Appreciate it. Then the next card comes from our friend Renee Lewis in Arkansas. We have an Abbey Road-esque postcard. She says, I love this Camino take on the Beatles Abbey Road cover. I was lucky enough to find this card in Santiago de la Compostela at the end of the Camino at St. James Cathedral. I love to travel, but I also love to be at home. Today is a lazy day after weeding my vegetable garden for an hour this morning. How do weeds grow so fast? I don't know how they grow so fast, but I haven't gone out and weeded really. My wife did weed the front walkway, so that looks nice and beautiful now. Even though we went out to walk last night, there was a couple popping through already, which was frustrating for her. But yeah, there's probably a lot more to do out there. So I can feel your pain, Renee. She's part of the Unicorn Club. So there's the unicorn, there's the forever stamp, and thank you for the Beatles card. The next card comes from our friend Siberian American. It's a Star Trek card, and there we have Captain Kirk with his tribbles. And she asks, how did you get into science fiction and when? Her ex is the one who was a Trekkie and introduced her to it. And there are the stamps. We have a Enterprise stamp, so we got a little bit of a Star Trek one there, and then the Webb telescope, another space one, beautifully decorated. Thank you, Anna, for that. How did I get into science fiction? Well, I've always loved it. Had it since I was young. Of course, started off with Star Wars. That was the passion as a kid. Had all the toys and things, and then Star Trek New Generation was kind of my introduction, I think, or Next Generation, not New Generation, sorry. Was my introduction into Star Trek. I did go back and watch all the older ones too, but my passion was certainly the Picard era, and then went and watched all the other ones from there. But also loved fantasy, movies like The Never-Ending Story. Then of course you get into Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, more modern ones. 2001 Space Odyssey, some of the older movies that way. I also like adventure ones like Goonies, so anything that's kind of adventure-esque. I do watch almost any type of movie out there, but science fiction is probably one of my favorite. So thank you for that. The next is an envelope I've received. This comes from Lamont and Violet in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, excuse me. And a nice older stamp there. I'm impressed that he had that in mint condition, put it on an envelope for me. These ones are older, but not nearly as old as that one. And then in the envelope, he sent this kind of a vintage-esque postcard. I've had this one before as well. He says that he wanted to send me one of the personalized stamps. He was gifted a few more and had a duplicate one, so he sent it on to me. I've kind of shown these ones in the past. Normally I show the stamps on a different episode, but this is just one single stamp, so I thought I could do that. Then they said that they were going to go off and do some retail therapy as well in a local town, so hopefully he found some success. They weren't done though. They sent another envelope, with some vintage stamps all over it as well. And the Saskatchewan Rough Riders, CFL football team there. He's got a bunch of stickers for it. And inside that envelope, he sent this postcard. It says, I just note to say thanks for the cards. I've only been to one rodeo because I sent him a Calgary Stampede postcard, a vintage one. And it says, it was probably 55 years ago. I've never been to Churchill to see the polar bears, but maybe one day. So please find enclosed a first day cover from the Netherlands. A few weeks ago, I had a bit of a philatalized score, so he found a bunch of good things and found this first day cover that he sent on. So thank you so much for that. He always finds all sorts of interesting little tidbits along there. He's a collector of all sorts of sports paraphernalia too, so it's kind of nice that he's found a few stamp things as well. All right, the next card comes all the way from Chile, from Isabel. We have this condor, which it says is their national bird. It's on the coat of arms, and in 2006 was declared a national monument. It's the biggest flying bird in the world. We have a condor in our local zoo as well. And there are some of the beautiful stamps that she's put on the back. And she's done the diagonal washi tape like I've been doing. So it's nice to see that. And there's a hedgehog sticker in there too. So thank you, Isabel, for all the cool things. I love seeing that. The next card is a creation by Zach in Illinois. And here we have the Chicago style hot dog. So when you guys eat hot dogs, those of you that do, what do you put on it? One of the things you're not supposed to put on a Chicago hot dog is ketchup. It's one of the things I usually always put on mine, but sweet relish, tomatoes, yellow mustard, diced onions, sport peppers, celery salt, kosher pickles, those are all acceptable condiments to put on a Chicago style hot dog. So thank you, Zach, for designing that card. The next card comes from David in San Francisco, and it's a homemade card. It's a Lego box. So did you build this Lego yourself? Was it for a family member? How did you get the box cover to send to me? Thank you anyways for picking all these things. Excuse me, I got hiccups. There are the stamps. You're the dragon stamp. There's a vintage looking, but I know it's a new one, airmail stamp there as well, and then the postcard stamp. So thank you, David, for that and the creative aspect that went into sending me that card. The next card comes from Katja in Sweden. Did you know that the safety match was invented in Sweden? I didn't know that. There are the stamps. And thank you so much. They weren't, the top two weren't canceled. This one was canceled. So she's having a hard time balancing between it being really hot, really cold. Her summer's been a flip-flop either way. But so thank you so much, Katja, for that. The next card that I have comes from Ambre. And it is this one here, got a nice big whale. She says, summer is finally here, and she dreams her next trip of going to the beach. And then she says her favorite is the white shark. She's put sharks and whales and all sorts of fish on the washi tape. And there's a really nice stamp all the way from France. So thank you, The next is an envelope from Media in Finland. There's the Finnish stamp. Inside we have a really cute hedgehog postcard, excuse me. The heat must be getting to me. She says this is a new one by Katja Ciario. There's the name at the bottom for original artwork. And then we have Helsinki. We've got on the tall ships. She got a chance to go see the tall ships. So these weren't the official cards for them, but there were some cards around that did have tall ship images on it, so she sent that for me. Let me just put that aside. The next one comes from Andre and Merritt, and they were in Saipan, which is I'm trying to cover up their address here, excuse me. There is the card, American-owned territory, and there are all the beautiful stamps that they've adorned the card with. So another one of their travels along the way, so thank you. And then just today, this summer meetup card from Vienna showed up. This one comes from Carl. A nice spot to have a meetup for sure. And there are the stamps. And Christian was there too. So I got a card from him as well. There is the stamp. Different cancellations this time. Same people that attended. So thank you, Carl and Christian, for both sending me cards. I've never met either of these two individuals. Anita in Austria has met them, and they often, the three of them, go to these meetups together. And Carl and Christian usually send me the cards, and then Anita sends me one from somewhere else, rather than me getting three of the same cards. But I think it's kind of funny to get them. And I usually get them on the same day too, which is great for the post office. All right, the next envelope that I have comes from Jilly B of Jilly B Living Her Life Her Way. You want to go check out her channel. She's got all sorts of nice stamps there. And then we've got some bees on the back and some pro-Ukraine sticker as well. Inside of it though, I'm not going to show the contents. She has sent some original art for Calling All Artists. So I've done one video on that already. So I'm going to collect a couple things and I'm going to do another video. And I will keep doing videos as long as people keep sending me their different things of art. So that's the plan. And then the last thing that I've got to show you in today's video comes from Stephen in Australia. He sent this envelope. And inside that envelope, what do I want to show you inside that envelope so far? Let's see here. We sent some postcards. These are maxi cards. Better send it a little bit closer so you can see the stamp. I'll go back and show you that one again too. And the third one. So 3 maxi cards came in there. He sent a bunch of postcards that have limericks on them for the month of August, and one in the start of September as well. And then he sent this really cute card, which explains that these are all limericks for the upcoming weeks. And why is he sending me limericks? Well, last month he also sent me a box of limericks on cards. So once a week, I'm reading his weekly limericks. So this is to replace what Eric used to be doing of the dad jokes that he graciously sent for a number of weeks and months. Here we go with the limerick for today. And it's entitled Fairy Tale Limericks. Now Jack was a young man of means who once sold a cow for 3 beans. His mum weren't impressed, so when he undressed, she cut up his fancy new jeans. If I remember correctly, I was sent this postcard by... Okay, sorry, that was the end of the limerick. She cut up his fancy new jeans, so bloop. And then he says, if I remember correctly, I was sent this postcard by a colleague who I worked with in China. She was from New York, and I was always amazed that all her directions were based on the compass, as though she had one in her head. And what does she mean by that? Well, yeah, a lot of places we talk about going north and then go east 3 blocks and then go south for half a block and then get over the bridge. So you do a lot of compass navigation here in North America. So I can get what he means by that. But there we go. There's the limerick again. I'm going to do it one more time because I kind of botched it a bit. Now, Jack was a young man of means who once sold a cow for 3 beans. His mum weren't impressed, so when he undressed, she cut up his fancy new jeans. So there we go. There's our limerick for the day. There is all of our wonderful mail that we have, and I've got a card that I've got to register. Now, let's think about what's coming up. There may be another surprise video this weekend. We shall see. And tomorrow I will have my live stream at 12 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure you tune in. We will do that. And then, who knows? After that, there may be some other things going on. I know that there's a circus in town. I don't know if I will take part in that and film, but I've been doing a lot of filming lately. So doubling up and having 2 videos a day sometimes is a bit much. So we will see what I get to. You guys, I hope you had a magical week and got lots of great mail. Well, here's to another magical week. Bye. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends.
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
Bye.